I'm here to talk about the success in mining digital transformation. I don't know if a lot of you know about Uptake, but just a short background. Uptake is 5 years old. It's a company based in Chicago, and we do predictive analytics across different industrial companies. So we take data coming from assets, signal data, we also take work order data, any other sort of contextual data, so that can be weather data. We bring it all together and we develop data science models. Those models, their goal is to flag anomalies ahead of time or predict failures before they happen. So it's all about making a more proactive maintenance towards your assets and being less reactive. So one of the things that I'm going to talk today is, for us, success is when the insights we generate, so those outputs from the data science models, actually translate to value, so that there's someone on the ground taking action on it. So that's for us success, when you actually generate that value. And I only have 10 minutes, but I'm going to show a quick demo on how we immerse ourselves in that workflow of the day-to-day of an operator, of a reliability engineer, of a condition monitoring analyst, and how we really make our insights generate that impact that we're after. So solving those problems that generate downtime, and at the end what we want to do is make sure the machines are up and running, that you know what's going to happen in a couple of months, you can plan ahead of time. So instead of just running around, putting out fires, getting all these million alerts, you know exactly what you need to be doing. So for this, I'll jump into the demo, and there are basically 3 things that I want to highlight. One is we want to make it very easy for the final user to understand what they have to focus on. Second is, when we provide the insight, we want them to understand what is the contextual information. What does this insight tell me? Am I convinced by this insight? And 3, how quickly can I take action on it? So if I jump into the demo, this is just a configuration of our Asset.io application. This is one way we surface the insights to the final user. Another way could be if your team is already using another tool, we can send the insights there. But this is just one way that we present those. So the first thing is, how can we direct the focus towards what you have to focus on that day? We work with a lot of customers. They have all these high-low rules. They get literally 500 emails a day about a pump. It's very difficult for them to sort through the noise, understand what's going on, and be really proactive around the assets. So the first thing is, not only I can see all the information on what's going on, what's relevant for me, but what do I have to focus on that day? And in this case, when you see a map, or it can even be a list, something highlights and gets your attention, and that's like the red block there. So there's something going on the concentrator plant. So me as a user, and imagine I'm, for example, a condition monitoring analyst, I know that today I'm going to look into this particular area because there are some insights in this area that really require my attention. When I go into the concentrator area, I would see all the assets that Uptake is monitoring, and I quickly see what is at risk. In this case, this example is a sag mill. So if I go deeper, I can see all the information surrounding the asset. And Uptake is ingesting all this information, right? Signal data, work orders, alerts. So we display it in a way that the user really understands what's happening. So these different KPIs that you're seeing here are just the things that I look at in a daily basis. It can be something different, and that's configurable, right? It's a logic in the back. We're getting the data already. So this is just for me as a user to understand everything about the asset, how it's been performing in the last 7 days, or maybe I'm interested in the last 24 hours. So we just can display whatever I want to see and understand it's been down, it's been running. And in the case of the sag mill that we developed a year ago, it was a lot around the liner wear. So a customer in particular was stopping the sag mill every 3 weeks or months at the beginning for 5 hours, making the inspection, measuring the liner width. And then they were doing this progression line to understand when is it going to wear out. And while the time comes at the end of the liner useful life, they would do the inspections more often and more often and more often. And they were getting a lot of data from the asset. So the problem we wanted to solve was, can we use the data that's already there to remove those inspections? Instead of having to do the 10 inspections to do over the life of the liner, can we just alert you at a point in time where you should start doing the inspections, so you remove some of that downtime at the beginning? So in this case, I'm the user looking at the stack mill, and the insights is really what comes from the data science models. The insights are the outputs of the models that we've developed. Some of them are focused on being predictive in nature, like we're predicting a failure. In this case, what we flag is an anomaly in the liner wear. So as a user, I want to understand what the insight means. And this is the second part, really making it consumable for the user. So it's not only about saying, oh, there's an anomaly detected, the liner is starting to wear out. It's understanding really what's surrounding this insight. So by working with a lot of customers, at the beginning we just provided the title. But then we realized they weren't taking action. So we asked, what do you need to make sure to be convinced? So some of the things were things like signal plots. So what are the most relevant signals that the model is looking at? And what do I need to see in order to be convinced? So in this case, we're looking at all these different signals. And to be honest, it's very difficult to tell just by looking at this that an anomaly is happening. And that's the beauty of AI at the back end. So that's able to tell that there's an anomaly happening. However, the user still wanted to see some signal plot. So we were, okay, we're going to give you that proof. We're also going to give you contextual information. So what are the alerts that have happened in the past, recently, recent events, work order data. So this is a way for me as a user, I don't have to go into a different system to check what happened recently. I don't have to call my night shift team to understand what happened yesterday. I have everything in one place. And now that I've consumed the insight, the third piece is how do I take action? And there are different things that can happen, right? I can see the insight, see all the proof, and be like, you know what? We changed the pad on the stack recently, and this drop in the pressure is something that I would expect, so I'm not going to send anyone to inspect, or I'm not going to plan anything right now. So I'm going to disregard the insight. So through the application, you can disregard an insight. When you do that, it gets fed back into the platform. So the model is machine learning. It learns that something was not right. I'm not predicting something that is actionable yet. So it learns why that happens. On the other hand, okay, I see this. This is something that we've seen in the past. Uptake is saying that normally, on average, this anomaly starts triggering 2 months ahead of the end of the liner wear useful life. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to plan an inspection maybe in 1 week, 2 weeks. Whenever someone takes an action, you can create a task. That task can be sent to my work order system. So if I'm using SAP, IBM Maxim, it can be sent there. So it's a really easy way to translate the insight into an actual action, and someone from my team is going to do something about it. And also, since we're reading the work orders, we're getting the feedback. So whenever someone goes out, maybe it's a third-party company, but they turn the wrench, they do something about it, they inspect it, they see that the liner is wearing out. That gets feedback into our system. So the model starts learning more and more. Yes, this happened. Yes, someone took action. And it starts saying what actions did they take. So in this case, maybe it was just an inspection. In some other case, maybe they went out, greased the bearing, and that resolved the issue. So it learns. That was the thing that they did in the past. So next time, I'm going to recommend that they start doing that. So it's all about also keeping tribal knowledge in-house, not only in the minds of the users. And I'm out of time, but mainly what I wanted you to get away with is that success for us, for Uptake, is really making sure that the insights are translated into actions in an easy way for our users. And we are in a booth in front of the brand ballroom. If you want to talk more about it, please come in.